Free beer and hot wings in the morning. Grand Rapids rocks all day. 97.9 GRD rocks.
Partly cloudy today, cool, and a high of 47. It's about 38 downtown. Sunny and gorgeous right now.
Yeah, it's nice to see some sunshine.
1-800-947-3979.
But don't call now because we don't want to talk to you now.
No.
Whiskey to make it all right. It's time for you to say goodnight.
Kiefer Sutherland has a brand new album out. On tour right now. He's going to be at the Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids on Saturday, and he joins us right now. Hi, Kiefer.
How you guys doing?
We're great.
You're
How are
awesome.
Thanks so much for having me.
you? Thank you for not making a bro country album.
Could you imagine?
It's, the album actually isn't coming out till June, but really excited about it. But we're going to manage to do about 40 dates between now and then. And can't wait to come and see you all in Grand Rapids.
Kiefer, you sound pretty awake, man. I'm actually a little shocked. Are you blacked out right now?
No, we've just been getting ready. We actually start in Milwaukee on Thursday, so just had to come into Nashville and take care of a couple things, and so I'm up early.
So, obviously, you've been playing music for years, but I would think there'd still be nerves associated with going on tour. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think anything that's going to make you nervous is kind of worth doing. I still feel the same way when I go to starting a new show called Designated Survivor, which will come out in the fall. I was nervous starting that, so for me, it's kind of something I'm pretty familiar with. We were lucky enough as a band. We played about 30 dates over the last few months in California, and so the nerves have quieted down a bit. But they're still there, but really more excited than anything else. Really proud of the record, and we've got an amazing band. Really proud of them, and I'm liking the show that we're putting on and getting ready to get started.
Now, what finally pushed you over the edge? Was it that bastard Kevin Bacon that you thought, you know what, if he can do it, I need to show him what I can do?
And I think Kevin, I've known Kevin since we did Flatliners, and literally when we were making that film, he had a guitar in his hand all the time if he wasn't shooting. I think he's a great writer and player. For me, it was funny. I had a small label called Ironworks for about 10 years, and we had some phenomenal artists come through there, and I just watched the process of them writing and making records, and I had written a lot over the years, but was really shy about the stuff I had done. There were a few songs I really liked, and I went to record them to really send to BMI or Sony Music and just see if any of their artists would like to do them. And a really dear friend of mine, Jude Cole, who I ended up partnering with on this record, said, you should do these for yourself. And I think I just finally got to a point in my life, because let's face it, an actor doing music will make your eyes roll. And
Sometimes.
I'm no different than that. But I finally got to a point where I liked my songs enough, and I guess I stopped worrying about what everybody else might say, and just got on with doing it. And I've had a fantastic year making the record, and I've had a fantastic time playing out with it too.
Who would be great? You're having a great time. It sounds great. Kiefer Sutherland with us in town at the Pyramid Scheme on Saturday.
Plus, you've done so much good work over the years.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, if you do something that's a dud, you still have everything else to back you up. Yeah, still got that.
I hadn't thought about it that way, but that's kind of reassuring, I guess.
Yeah. We're great for self-confidence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if something doesn't go quite your way, then you just put on Jack Bauer voice, and everyone goes, yes!
And then everyone's flying again. Yeah. And on some level, you're right. But I think it's really important, certainly for me, it was really important to find something to be really creative about. And it was at a time when, I'd finished 24, certainly did not have this new show, and I had the time to do it. So for me, I'm always better off working in some capacity than not. When I've got too much time on my hands, I tend to do some pretty stupid stuff. So
Oh, no, are there any examples?
Survival.
Are there any examples of anything that you would think personally you thought, well, that was dumb?
Well, I always thought jumping on that Christmas tree was pretty funny at the time.
It was amazing.
I agree. I think that is maybe the least dumb thing I've ever seen a human being do. It was one of the greatest things because it allowed everyone to live vicariously, sort of, because you saw that and you go, that's hilarious. I wish I had the guts to get away with jumping onto a Christmas tree.
Kiefer, do you think that moment inspired the moment in the film Elf when Will Ferrell jumped into the Christmas tree?
No, I have a feeling that Will Ferrell takes care of his own comedy. But it was just as funny watching him do it too.
Now you mentioned 24, and that is, and I say this without any type of puffing it up at all. That's my favorite show of all time.
Oh, thank you so much.
I would watch that. In fact, I'm about to start watching it again if I get some time on my hands because the earlier episodes, I don't remember them that well anymore. It's been a long time removed.
They were made a long time ago.
And it has, I mean, the time goes by very quickly. And now, is it true that they are coming out, or the intention is to come out with another 24, a series, a spinoff, and you're executive producing?
I'm one of the producers. Howard Gordon and I have worked a little bit together on this. I think it was really difficult. I would have done the show till I died, frankly. I mean, I love doing it that much, and it's a character that I love playing. I think we all came to the conclusion, though, that, I mean, how many bad days can one guy have before it starts to look kind of silly?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we pushed it as far as it could go. But I've always said that I felt that the real star of that show was the idea. And so they've put together a great cast. And the first few scripts that I've been able to read are fantastic. So I hope people give it a shot because putting the time component in the context of a thriller, I think, just was a genius idea. And so hopefully it will continue on. Very excited to see what they do with it. And as long as they don't put it in the same time slot as the new show that I'm doing, I'll be fine.
Could you imagine it? You're producing one show and starring on the other?
Oh, you'd have to sabotage one. Whichever one is the least of the moneymakers.
Yeah.
Which of your children do you love the least? Yeah.
It's a problem I would like not to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Since you're producing it, have you given anybody notes, the kind of notes that you probably hated when you were just starring in the show?
No, I think my value as a producer, having done the 9 seasons, is really going to be with the writers, and we've managed to navigate kind of potential pitfalls over the years together, and so I think that's where I can be helpful. I think it's really important for the new cast and the new actors on the show to really make and find their own way. I think that's really part of the process. But I'm certainly excited for them. It was the greatest gift for me as an actor in my career, and I hope it works out to be the same for these new guys.
It's really saying something, considering you've been in some huge projects over the years and continue to be. Kiefer Sutherland with us. The tour just about to get started in Grand Rapids on Saturday night at the Pyramid Scheme. The album comes out in June, the country album, not bro country. When you are on tour, you'll end up no doubt doing some morning radio at times. Would you promise us, though, have it not be today, to have a Billy Bob Thornton-esque rant? If you remember that one, when they kept asking him, as an actor, what about music? And I want you to, at some point, to ask a dumb DJ like us, quote, would you ask Tom Petty that question? And then just stare at him.
Well, I will try. I will try and keep that in mind. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Billy Bob Thornton. I think he's an incredible actor. I think he's a lot of fun. His band is a lot of fun to listen to and go see. So I can't speak for him or what was going on with him that day.
Well, it was early and he was pissed. We've all been there.
Yeah, everybody's been there. Yeah, anytime we've interviewed him, he's been awesome.
Yeah,
like we've always had a great time with him.
We had him on after that, and he explained it in a way that made me go, "Oh, well, that guy does suck." And then I think that guy got arrested for like forcing women to do things. So
I think so.
Final score: Billy Bob won. That guy nothing.
Yeah, I think the DJ was a little.
Well, there's
bit
a piece of instant karma for you.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt.
Hey, Kiefer.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go. I want to hear you talk.
I was just going to say the album has some real kind of country flavor to it in a couple songs, but there's some real rockers there. So So if you do happen to get a chance to come out and check out the show, we promise you that we'll get you moving.
Absolutely. Are there songs on the album that you mentioned you wrote a lot of them? Is there anything that has special meaning to you? I wrote all the songs on the record, and they all do. I think this is the closest thing I've ever had personally to a journal. They're all intimate moments. I think one of the nice things that I get to do during the show is I get to explain, I wrote this song about this specific situation in my life. This girl broke my heart way back in 19 whatever, and this is why I wrote this song, and I get to kind of explain really the last 20 years of my life and kind of what happened in my life through these songs. And so that's kind of nice to have a personal narrative like that when doing the show, and so that's kind of been part of the fun for me. Are there any Carly Simon-esque songs about like You're So Vain where everybody's going to be like, who's Kiefer talking about? Who's the celebrity in this?
Number 4 is Tom Hanks Sucks or something. Yeah.
There's a couple. And I've always loved the fact that you never knew, certainly with the You're So Vain song, if she was singing about Mick Jagger or Warren Beatty. And so I'm going to try and leave it as maybe a little vague. But no, the songs are really personal. And as lucky as I've been through my life, I've had a couple friends that have not survived it as well, and wrote about that a couple times, and just different places. And so if you get a chance to check out the show, I'll kind of try and explain them to you.
That sounds fantastic. Kiefer Sutherland in Grand Rapids on Saturday night. Kiefer, we do a bit called The Bald Truth. It's just 10 quick yes or no questions that we ask people to answer really quickly. And then if you want to go back, you can expand on any of them, or you can pretend they all didn't happen if you want. Are you willing to play along with us?
Of course I am.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Here it is. All right.
All right, Kiefer. Do you ever drink your whiskey with mixers?
Yeah, well, yes and no. I'll drink it with a chaser, but not a mixer.
Good man. Do you have a designated trim spotter?
No.
Do all managers and agents know how to obtain cocaine?
No, but they should.
Have you ever made a movie you hate?
Yes.
Does your dad's bare ass still look youthful?
Sort of. I'll go with yes. I want to go home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right. Okay. Do you know how much a tube of toothpaste costs?
Yes.
How much?
$2.19.
Good call.
Very specific.
Can you imagine if he said $81?
Free. I'm Kiefer.
Have you ever lost a fight to a pine tree?
Yes.
Have you ever ignored a call or text from your manager?
Yes.
Have you ever pooped in your pants?
Well, yeah, I wore a diaper when I was a child, so yeah.
Nice loophole. And finally, do you have any hot cousins?
I do, actually. I do.
What's his name?
Cause controversy at Christmas.
Yeah.
Are there any you want to go back and explain?
The pine tree thing is actually really funny.
Okay.
Love to hear it.
Yeah.
I was on the second floor of a hotel that was on a ski hill, and we'd had a bit of a night. And I was on the balcony, and I needed to get down to the lobby really quick. And I figured I could just, this tree jumping thing seems to be an issue.
I was going to say, there's more than one.
And I thought I could just jump like the 5 feet maybe to this tree. And I had just overjumped. And I hit the tree so hard that I kind of half knocked myself out, and then hit every branch on the way down. It was really funny. Yeah.
Dude, I've totally thought about doing that.
Yeah. It seems so easy in the movies.
In the movies.
And how smart of you to decide not to. See, this is where the missing link seems to be in my life.
Kiefer Sutherland will be in town with his band on Saturday night at the Pyramid Scheme. Go see him. The album comes out in June. Designated Survivor. Looks fantastic. That comes to ABC in the fall, not opposite 24.
Would you ask Tom Petty this question?
Yes. Kiefer Sutherland. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it comes out in the fall. I think 24 is coming out in the fall as well. But I'm really excited about it. The designated survivor is actually an article in the Constitution that during any State of the Union, a member of the cabinet has to be sequestered in case of a natural disaster or fire that would kill the president and the line of succession to the presidency.
Oh, damn.
Cool.
And at the beginning of our show, my character, Tom Kirkman, is the member of that cabinet that is sequestered, mainly because he's going to be fired the next day, and so he is not invited to the party. And a terrorist attack happens on the Capitol building, and he overnight becomes the president, and it kind of examines what that would do to your family, the political instability within the country, trying to find out who is actually responsible for this and the appropriate response. And so the show deals with all of those issues, and it's written by a young man named David Guggenheim, who's an extraordinary writer. So it's something that I think is incredibly exciting and really cool, and I hope people feel the same way about it in September.
That is fantastic.
It sounds great.
We're looking forward to the show on Saturday. Good luck with the tour. Thanks for joining us today.
If you guys get to come by, I'll buy you a drink.
That's a
Sounds
deal.
good.
Oh, my God. Okay.
That's going to happen. Kiefer Sutherland. Thank you, sir. Could he have been any better?
No.
That was amazing.
No.
Could Joe's interruption
He's
about the
very cool.
Guggenheim Institute have been any worse at the end?
No, it
He
couldn't.
didn't hear it.
No, we heard it.
Of the Institute.
You had been so good, and then you took a dump right on the front yard.
I appreciated it.
Yes,
And that's all that
I'm
matters.
sure you did. Written by David Guggenheim of the Institute.
That would have to be punched up by a team of writers to reach the level of dad joke.
Yeah. I'm going to be on a show called Designated Survivor. Survivor Mark Burnett. Oh.
Ooh, drinking Eye of the Tiger.
Sometimes I like to fit things in where they just don't belong. And, well, that was just perfect. And I feel especially great about it at this very moment
Yeah.
in time.
Can you imagine if he had stopped and said, I don't know what that means?
Yeah, I was actually a little afraid that he was going to because of how I hesitated to say it and then fit it in there. And then I was like,
Yeah.
don't say that. And
You
then
didn't really go for it. You just you whispered it.
Yeah.
That was a good move.
Oh, very good move. Oh, the only good move about the Guggenheim Institute jape that I formulated right there.
He was on 24 hours in a day.
How many? There must be so many Guggenheim Institute memes on the internet because that's such a common comedy trope.
Yeah, well, I was looking at them yesterday, so it was in my mind.
You know who graduated from there? Success Kid.
Get out of town.
He went to the Guggenheim.
Show off.
Eisenberg, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. Hope to be back.
Would you talk up the ramp in your Eisenberg voice? You only have 35 seconds to go, so make
Only
it sweet.
35 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got to hit the post.
Yeah.
I wish I had a list of stuff that people want me to read because I keep getting tweets. People want me to read stuff.
You have my permission to die.
You have my permission to die.
Good enough.
Okay.
The Chili Peppers, Soul to Squeeze. 97.9 GRD Rocks.